Alright, here's a little information. I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware of this. How religious orders have been always used to hide deserters or political refugees and like different people, it's like, all right, for instance, okay, let me think here, like Shaolin, for instance, okay, over in China, uh, there was all these, these different dynasty switches, and then it switched from their old emperor to this communist state. Each time that created a lot of political refugees and like people all of a sudden, these people, like, look, when shit switches, all of a sudden all these people become bad guys, so they got to go underground. So it's always convenient, go to somewhere where you can become a monk for until the situation changes, so there's another regime change, then you can come out of this institution, for instance. And I've read that this is true, just like when Japan went to China and started, picking on them. Some of the Chinese guys went and hid out with the Shinto Yamabushis in the mountains, supposedly. So I've heard.
This is all about clergy misconduct.
Clergy misconduct. That's funky because I'm about to talk about the Catholics.
It's all about Catholics.
Yeah.
If you want to look at this,
all right,
there's
leave it out for me.
Information in there.
All right. Now that's where I was going to next, is the Catholics. Okay? The Catholic Church, actually the Jesuits had an influence on Shaolin and, the culture of people from India. But the Nazis, the war criminal deserters, Nazis that disappeared, a lot of them were given refuge at the Catholic Church, and then the Catholic Church is rich. So here's 1,000 bars of gold. Go to basically South America and continue your work and keep us in the loop, basically. And that's provable. I mean, Operation Paperclip. This is common knowledge these days that that the government likes to make deals with the devil, or sometimes, in some cases, is the devil himself. And that's why you gotta watch these people, like the Pharisees, man. That's another political refugee. When they were in Babylon, they had to be Babylonian. You know what I'm saying? Until they could get released back to Jerusalem. They were kind of in a similar situation where they had become the soothsayers and magicians for Nebuchadnezzar and his son, and then the Persians. For instance, you know what I'm saying? Because people, like, they make this mistake of thinking, like, these occult sciences, Flower Life, Paragraphist cult, you don't think they had all that same information back then? Like, someone like Daniel, who was the chief magician, the chief of the astrologers, magicians, and soothsayers, because he wasn't a magician or a soothsayer or nothing. It was just, hey, no one could dispute that Daniel's intelligence, which he said came directly from God, was good. You know what I'm saying? So, for instance, or like Paul, he was in Greece. You don't think he encountered Paragraphist theorem people that basically it's just, there's a world Gnostic view. That's basically what all these philosopher societies were. They were just Gnostics, in which Gnostics just means knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So, not that knowledge is bad, but Gnosticism alone will not. It's not. It's not the whole picture. You can't get the whole picture without the revelation from a supernatural source. You know what I'm saying? If you just dismiss that off as impossible, well, that you're limited already, because we hear all these stories, accounts of miracles and life, what is it, near death experiences or short death, and then like if you revive situations where people say they seen their whole life pass before their eyes, and or they seen people that were dead and they told them it's not your time, things of that nature, or miracles, you know so that's, I mean, I'm not against being Gnostic, like in your search for knowledge, but Gnosticism alone, I don't think it contains enough of the whole. You know what I'm saying? You're cut off from an aspect of things. So, but anyway, yeah, I mean, that's the reason. Another reason, you gotta be suspicious of your religious leaders. I mean, if they don't talk the talk and walk the walk, you need to take a walk. You know what I'm saying? Leave them leave them in chalk, buddy. Like Audi, peace. Cause they're known to play both sides of the fence. Like, look, priests are also a perfect way to make a spy, because everyone's going to assume a priest, oh, he'll never rape my kid. And we all know how often that happens, and that's one of my things against churchianity. I mean, churchianity was birthed from Rome, you know what I'm saying? And the Templars, that's their cathedrals and stuff. They worship the works of their hands, their stone, their idols. That's what churchianity is. It's an idol. It's when you elevate this false act. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, while you masquerade around as a righteous person, you're playing both sides of the fence. I've seen documentaries about how they'll have church service during the day. The Satanists come in at night to the basement and use the same facility for some kind of crazy ritual. I mean, I can only imagine. From what I have seen, though, I can imagine they probably have some pretty crazy shit going on out here, like all around us. You think this is only in Europe? No, dude, it's worldwide. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it's like these people don't think that way. They don't like to think that way. They don't like to go into these uncomfortable zones. The paradigm rockers is what I like to call them. You know what I'm saying? They get cognitive dissonance, shut down, plug my ears, close my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Stick my head in the sand. There's no more tiger. You know what I'm saying? Basically. But yeah, and just think about that. If that is true, like what I just said there, what does that mean? How many Nazis did the Catholic Church take in?
Really?
If America took over 1,000, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they're right there close to each other. And I mean, the Germanic tribes fighting with Rome, they have some tie there, like history. Anyway, they should have like a loose alliance from being neighbors for so long. You know what I'm saying? So just think about it. Think about it. Look at that priest. Is that really an agent? A matrix agent? Masquerading. You know what I'm saying? In a man of the cloth.